much into this. Wahaha. Very poor rhyme. This man is acting so strangely. Cogs are turning. Hello everyone, it's Fiona and welcome back to my channel, Christian Eva Chanel. I'm so excited for today's video. It's one I've been waiting for quite a while to do, and it is a scavenger hunt reading vlog. So I know different people do this in different ways. The first people I saw do it were Ellen, Catherine and Books and Lala. I'm going to stick with the way I've done it previously, which is to start with the last book I read, Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I finished this morning. And well, technically 12 by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, because this book has the novella at the end, but I think I'm just going to go with it as Bad Blood. And I have my jar of prompts here. I'm going to pick 8 in total. The first 7 are going to take me through books that I've read, and then for the final prompt I'm going to move to my TBR cart or bottom shelf and pick a book on my physical TBR. The first prompt, also I have a new microphone. Well, I have a microphone for the first time and I do not know if it's working, so please bear with me on that. The first prompt is read the first line, find a book with one of those words in the title, like this one. So the first line is, without order there is chaos. Okay. One that I just thought of is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, but I'm not on that one in the series yet. Plus I haven't read it yet, so that doesn't really work anyway. This might be harder than I thought. I'm going to take my books off because they're being loud. Okay, so kind of boring, but I'm going to go for Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica, with is being the relating word. The next prompt is a word in the title that rhymes. Okay. Tender is the Flesh. It's a bit of a cheat, but I'm going for The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Deaths with flesh. Very poor rhyme, but I feel like it's my best option, so I'm going with it. Prompt 3. Flip to a random page and find any word. Find a book with that word in the title. Okay. Much. Nope. Try again. I definitely don't have one with action. This is really hard. Finding. I feel like I did this before and it didn't work last time either, so I flipped to a random page and then just found a book, like read from the start and found a book title that used the first word I came across that matched. That doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to do that. So, everything. Oh, I have one with everything. But where is it? Okay, Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Prompt number 4. An author's name with the same number of letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So for 13 letters in the author's name, we have Three Sisters by Heather Morris. Pick number 5. Flip to a random page. Point to a random word. Find a book with this word in the title. I'm trying it 2 times max, and if it doesn't work, I'm getting a different prompt. Farmer, no. Whispers, no. I need to remove that because I always forget I have 2 in there, and then it always comes up twice. I'm going to put it in the bin right now. So this is still prompt number 5. A book I would recommend to someone who liked this one. Okay. So we have Three Sisters by Heather Morris. This is from the collection of The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It's about 3 sisters who were at Auschwitz and other concentration camps, and it's a true story and it's very harrowing. So I think that I would recommend War Doctor by David Knott. This is also a memoir about surgery on the front line. So he was a surgeon in conflict zones. Count the letters in the title. Count to here on your shelf from where you picked this book up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have The Transgender Issue by Sean Fay. So 3 non-fics in a row. It's pretty good going. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, 7. Okay, we're getting close. A book I gave the same rating. I feel like I gave this book a really high rating, like 4.75, maybe 4.5. I'm pretty sure it was very high. So I'm going to go for Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which I'm pretty sure I gave 4.5 or 4.75. I think it was 4.5, but what was it? I don't know. I really loved this book. So it was definitely in that range. So I'm going to go with this one. And that means there's only one more prompt left to pick. And it says, a completely different book. Okay, that gives us quite a lot of scope for mood reading. It's just not a fluffy romance. Maybe we'll say not any romance. Okay. So I think the mic worked pretty good in the first clip. It's just that just before I picked the book that I'm reading, the bit that's attached to my phone fell out and I reconnected it, but I didn't realise I'd have to Bluetooth connect it. So I got no audio for that bit. But basically I went through a few options and ended up picking The Wrong Sister by Claire Douglas, which I have now read part 1, which is about 100 pages. And I would say I'm finding it quite average so far. I have read 2 Douglas books before, and the first one being the sister or the sisters, I'm not sure, which I find it funny that she's got 2 books about sisters, but whatever. And that book I also found pretty average. I think I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was okay, but I feel like I remember thinking that the main character made a lot of questionable decisions, and I didn't really get it. But the other book I read by that author is The Couplet Number 9, which I read at the end of last year as an audio, and I really enjoyed that one. I gave that one 4 stars. I thought it was really quite exciting. So I kind of like that I'm going into this one with not huge expectations of what I'm going to think. And so far, I would say it's leaning more towards that first one, but there's still a lot of time left for things to happen. I hadn't read the blurb of this book before I went into it. I have since read it, and things have started to maybe make a little bit more sense, because basically in this book we're following Tasha. I feel like at least in part 1, Tasha was the main character and the main perspective we're seeing, but I think that might change as the book moves on. Just realised how messy the sofa looks. I feel like it's on a zoom. Is it on a zoom? Oh, that's better. Sorry if that was blurry. I think my hair bubble zoomed it out.
But anyway, so our main character is Tasha, and she lives in a small house in the village she grew up in with her husband and their twin daughters who are about to turn 3. Although they keep calling it a small house, but it looks pretty big on the cover to me. I'll just throw that out there. But Tasha's sister Alice is a very successful career woman. She's a biochemist, and her husband have no children and a lot more money than Tasha and Aaron. So basically, they suggested that they look after the twins for a week while Tasha and Aaron go and spend their anniversary at Alice and Kyle's holiday home in Venice. So, like, lovely times, woohoo, all exciting. But everything kind of starts going wrong, and a lot of things are happening, which I don't want to mention because, like I said, I hadn't read the blurb. However, I don't know. Like, one of the main things that happens is on the blurb, but I didn't know that going in, and I don't know if you should. So it's up to you if you want to read it. I'm not going to say it right now. But kind of, you know, when you're like sat in the staff room and someone's telling you a story who you don't know that well, and they're saying the story, and you're just kind of sitting there going, yeah, oh my God, oh really? And in your head, you're kind of going, did that really happen? Or was that really the way it happened? That's kind of how I felt reading this book so far. But it's like there's like a box of the story, and inside the box is like all the characters, and where as the reader you want to be in that headspace too, because you want to be in the story. And I'm just kind of out here, so I just feel a little bit external from the story and what's going on. I don't know if that makes any sense, but hey, that's how it feels to me. And but now that I've read the blurb, I'm like, okay, maybe they just needed to get that backstory out the way so that they could put that in place to begin the real story. So I'm wondering if things might change a little bit now. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not super into it yet, and I'm not feeling super gripped. Having said that, I have already read 100 pages and I only started it last night. So I'm obviously like enjoying it enough to keep reading, which is what I'm going to do now. But I will update you when I have future thoughts. But that's where I'm at right now.
Also, I have a prediction for who the baddie is. Just throwing that out there. You know, if someone's had a head injury and they're in hospital recovering from it the day after, why would you sit there comforting them by stroking their hair? That doesn't make sense to me. Surely you'd go for their arm or something instead. You wouldn't want to be near the injury site, no? Am I reading too much into this? This man is acting so strangely. A lot of people are not being honest here. I think my prediction is about to come true in part 3. I think she's her. I can't say it, obviously, but I think she's her, and she's the baddie. But I don't think she's the only baddie, and I don't think he knows who she is, but I think they're somehow involved, and she's done it on purpose out of hatred and fury and whatever other emotions she's got going on. He's got swept away, she's gone wahaha, and then the story is another plot that's separate but thrown in to throw us off as the reader, but also kind of important. And I also think he's real dodgy. So there's a whole lot of nothing for you, but in my mind, cogs are turning. This vlog is so unaesthetic because I've literally just sat and binged this book on the sofa all day. So I have now moved to a new location, but it's still really boring. Oh my god, I can't believe how hooked I've been on this book. Considering what I was saying after the first 100 pages, I've just been so hooked, and I think the chapters just flow so well into one another. And that's not to say, like, I think a lot of the time when you find yourself reading on and reading on and reading on longer than you thought, especially with a thriller, it's usually because every chapter's ending on a cliffhanger, and I don't feel like it's doing that, at least not for me. But they're just flowing so well into one another, and I can't explain what, like, the linguistics or like writing techniques of how that's happening, but it just is. Like, I'm getting to the end and I'm like just carrying on, and I think it's partly because the chapters are short. Now, when I first started this last night, I was like, the chapters felt really long because I've spent all of last week, or all of this week I should say, reading the last few books in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and those are fast reads. The chapters are short, the font is pretty big, and it's just so fast paced, which I guess it is really well paced. But yeah, so the chapters being like 10 to 15 pages long, I was like, whoa, this feels really long in comparison. But they're not, they are short, and it's so well paced, it flows so well. I'm really enjoying it. It's not going to be a 5-star read, I'm sure of that. It's not a perfect book, but I'm really enjoying it. A lot of the characters are very flawed, or at least a little bit flawed, and I definitely think a lot of the characters are not very honest with each other and probably with themselves too. But it's a real turnaround from my first check-in, I'll put it like that. And I think it's really good, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I do have a few predictions. I'm hoping there's going to be a few things thrown in there that I'm not expecting, but I'm excited to find out. I definitely don't think I'm probably going to finish this tonight. Probably. That was a good sentence. I have about 110 pages left, which probably will take me just under 2 hours. And it's about 8:45 now, so I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight, but I might. I'm going to say that I'll probably read at least another 30 pages tonight, another half hour. Now that I'm in bed, I could just stop being awake at any point, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, when I started this book last night, I wanted to finish it by Thursday, but definitely by Saturday, because I thought Thursday might be a bit tricky. And now I'm going to finish it definitely tomorrow, which I have not read a book this fast in a very long time. So it's so exciting. And this is over 400 pages, so it's not as if it's really short either. It's only 402, so it's only just over, but still. Yay, how exciting. Love getting a good read. I woke up this morning, I turned on the light, and I finished the book before I did anything else, which is very unlike me, but I just woke up and wanted to finish it because I read so much of it last night, well, throughout the day yesterday. Oh, should I have put the mic on? Oh well, I forgot. I needed to finish it, and I don't know if it was like a need, but also This book has definitely been helped by the fact that I've had nothing else to do this weekend, nothing else going on, and I've been home alone all weekend, so there's been no distractions. However, in that exact same situation, there is no way I would read 350 pages of one book in one day if I wasn't enjoying the book. I just wouldn't. I would have watched loads of TV, I would have doom scrolled, I would have done loads of other things than just reading this book. And this book did read fast. I think I was reading at a faster rate than normal, but I think that is often the case with a thriller. It was just so good, and I'm kind of confused by that because, like I was saying, after I read the first 100 pages, I was like, it's alright, it's okay, it's average, 3-star max probably. And now I've got to the end and I'm like, 4 stars, 4.5? I think I've settled on a 4.25 because I have to remember the first part was not fantastic, but then at the same time, the vast majority of the book I really enjoyed. Like, that was 100 pages out of 400, so a quarter of the book, and then 3/4 I flew through, and I think it was just so well paced. The plot line wasn't fantastic, the writing wasn't fantastic, so I can't put my finger on why I was so entertained by this, but I just was. I think it's a really great book, and I predicted some of the kind of twists, but there were a couple of things that took me by surprise, which I was really happy about because it's always nice for there to be an element of mystery and surprise in a thriller. I'm just so pleasantly surprised by how I feel at the end of this book compared to where I was at my first check-in, and I'm so happy about this. I think as well, a lot of the time when I read a thriller, I'm like, oh, that just wouldn't happen. Like, so many things in this combination won't go wrong for one family or one person, but I'm like, actually, when the family has secrets, like it says right here, and the family has a lot of dodgy history, as in nothing crazy, but all of the characters have done stuff that they probably shouldn't be super proud of, then yeah, you're going to attract trouble. So it felt kind of okay. Some of the things that happened to this family were completely external and they couldn't have controlled it, they couldn't have predicted it, and they couldn't have done anything really differently. But other things that happened kind of felt like natural responses or progressions to things that they've done and choices they've made, so it felt like it made sense. And also, it's a fictional book. It's going to be dramatic and exaggerated. I just really liked it. So I feel confident that the scavenger hunt did as well this time. When I landed on that final prompt that said a completely different book, I was like, oh, that's a bit vague and a bit non-committal. And then I thought, what's completely different to a romance? That's when I settled on a thriller, and I wasn't sure if I was feeling it, but actually I'm really glad this happened and I got to read this book. So all round, great experience. I'm really happy. All that's left to say is thank you so much for being here, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!